Greetings. Today we're going to talk about crisis communication, how to inspire calm and order during times of stress. I'm Dr. Warren Smedley. Crisis communication is, if it's a true crisis, never a fun thing. And you need to be prepared as best you can to manage these crises. This is not a full training. This is only a quick some quick thoughts on ways to be prepared for crisis communication. You do need full training on crisis planning, preparation, implementation. You should be doing all kinds of planning in your institutions to make sure that you know how to respond appropriately in the midst of a crisis. Crises are hard, and it's hard to think clearly. You need to be prepared. A true crisis should never be handled alone. Rely on your team for help. Don't feel like you have to run out there by yourself and start trying to solve problems. Make sure you're thoughtful. Make sure you're taking advantage of those experts around you who can help you to make the right decisions. If you can, try to be prepared ahead of time. So most of us have at least thought about what would happen if, and you can go on ahead about weather problems or other kinds of problems you may have encountered. We can anticipate these things. We can actually put plans in place. And I bet your institution has those plans in place now, but you should review them and practice ahead of time so that you're not surprised and shocked when those things actually happen. Biggest thing you can do is to think first. Don't jump to conclusions. You will never have all the information you need to make a good decision. And especially when things are moving quickly and there are lots of decisions to be made in a short period of time. Do your best to take a deep breath, pause, and think. Plan your message thoughtfully. Don't rush into it. Don't jump to conclusions. Ask questions. Ask as many questions as you possibly can of as many people as you possibly can to try and get the full picture, as much of the picture as you can. Please be sensitive. People may be hurting. People may be really hurting. And you don't know how somebody's going to react in a crisis situation. You don't want to say something or do something that could be hurtful to people at a time when they're really in crisis. Ask a colleague to review with you whatever you're planning to do, what your message is. Multiple colleagues, if you can get that done. Make sure you review it. Ask people to critique and give you thoughts and feedback on what you think you're about to do. And then, to the extent possible, exude as much confidence as possible and try to help provide calm in a difficult situation. When you're implementing, in the case of a crisis, I like to say less can be more. Saying too much can be the wrong thing, especially when you don't know. As things are unfolding, you don't know all the information. You can get yourself in trouble very quickly. So less is actually more sometimes. Keep your comments brief and to the point. Keep it open and non-judgmental. Be careful not to point fingers or blame things on one side or the other or this, that, or the other thing, because you probably don't know all the information. Please check your nonverbal signals. We've talked in other videos about how important the nonverbal is. Nonverbal is about 55% of your presentation. So if your nonverbal signals are really bad, then people aren't going to believe what you're saying with your words. Be encouraging and empathetic. Recognize that people are probably hurting. They're probably frightened. They're probably scared. They're probably overworked and stressed. So be encouraging, be empathetic, recognize that this is a crisis. Ask questions and then check for understanding. Make sure people are actually hearing you. In a crisis, people are probably not hearing clearly, or they're hearing what they want to hear. So you need to use questions to check for understanding. And it's okay to say, I don't know yet. I don't know the answer to that yet. We'll try and find out for you. It's better to confess you don't know the answer than to try and make something up and get yourself in trouble. Be truthful and transparent to the extent that you can. It's not always appropriate to share every detail. In fact, a lot of times it's not. But be as truthful and transparent as you possibly can. Thank you.